In this video, I'll show you how to install your shift rod coupler, and gear shift, and I'll be reviewing and installing a new and improved aftermarket shift rod bushing kit from EV4U.
All right, back from the title sequence. So this bushing, on the website where it's sold, EV4U, they have a demo video, and what they've done is they've created a mock-up of the center spline of a typical Volkswagen tunnel, and they put a hole in it so you can see the hanger for the bushing and the shift rod, and you can see how this thing is installed using their custom tool. Now the trick is that it's a mock-up and you can see what's going on inside. In the real world, you're not going to be able to see anything. You're just going to be working through the hole where the shifter bolts on. So it's going to be a little more difficult to do it in real life. So what I want to see is how hard this is to actually install for the average Joe like myself, if it's easy or if it's difficult, and how well it works. All right, let's start with the basics. This is your shifter, obviously. Shift gears with this. This bolts onto the tunnel of the car. Now inside the tunnel right here, there's a hanger which hangs down to about right there. And this part right here clamps into the hanger. Now, at the end of the shifter, you have the shift rod. It fits into this carrier hole thingy right here. This slides back and forth against this bushing. Keeps it from rattling around inside the tunnel and keeps your shifting smooth. And here's the tunnel. The shift rod runs through there. And at the end of this shift rod is the shift rod coupler. Attaches this bolt, and the tip of that is going to attach inside my tunnel. Take this cover off. That bolts on right there to the tip of your transaxle, and that's how you shift gears. Changing gears, baby. This is the stock part that came with the car when it was new. And there's really literally nothing wrong with it. I'm just gonna replace it because this is a wear and tear item and they are kind of a pain to replace. So right here, this is what you get in the mail from EV4U. This kit cost $80, which seems like a lot of money. It comes with this installation tool. It also comes with some hooks, a spreader tool, and then of course there's the new shift rod bushing and the clip that holds it on to the hanger inside the tunnel. Now you might say that this is a bit overpriced, $80 for what it is, but they've done all the research and they created this tool from scratch. So $80 with delivery. You decide if this is worth it or not. Now I'm going to get started installing it.
I broke this down into steps and cut it down for brevity and clarity because this actually took me 30 minutes. But don't worry because you're just getting the highlights.
First things first, I got the retaining clip clamped down here, and this is a spreader. It's attached to this string. And what I need to do is spread this apart and hook these two holes onto the end of the spreader tool. And you should wear eye protection if you do this. Okay, it's on. Okay, here's where the fun begins. So this is the installation tool that we saw earlier. There's this string. Comes off the end and goes through the middle. So the first thing I'm going to do is put the bushing on. And it fits on this way so that the flat, wider side is going towards the rear of the vehicle. So this is the back of the car. This is the front of the car. So here I go. Put the string through the bushing. Insert the bushing down onto the end of the installation tool. And this is tossed into the tunnel. And the way they did it in the video was that the guy scooted it down into the tunnel like so. So they give you this piece of wire which looks like an old coat hanger, and what I'm going to do is use this to loop the string through the shift rod hanger, which you can't see because it's inside the tunnel. So right now I'm looking into the tunnel. I'm going to narrate the action because it's impossible to see. Almost got it. Almost. Not quite. All right, now this is tangled up inside the gas line. Take 2. All right. Now, I'm going to hold the string up so that it doesn't get tangled in the fuel line. Okay, I think I got it. And I got it. I did it. Pull the string, and that's gonna pull the end of the plastic pipe through the shift rod hanger. Okay, success. Now, the next thing I need to do is to take my spreader tool and my clip, and I need to push it down the end of the plastic installation tool. Now, you notice I could put it in 2 ways. I could put it in this way, or I could put it in this way. You want to have the opening of the clip facing this way so that you can pull the clip off once it's installed around the bushing. Put it through the opening of the C-clip, push it down onto the installation tool. Okay, now it's kind of hung up in the tunnel a little bit. Push that inside a little more. Now, slide that back in. So you may remember there's a little hole in the top of the installation tool. That hole here lines up with the captive nut on the top of the tunnel. I want to push this back inside, slide it forward. And I'm going to use my long screwdriver. I'm going to push it through the captive nut in the tunnel. And I'm going to push it through the hole in the top of the installation tool. I got it. Now everything is held in place. The only problem is that this fell off. Okay, so now I need to start over. Slide that on, walk that forward. Okay, I got it. Did it fall off again? Yes, it did. All right, let's try this one more time. Okay, fell off again. There, whoop, almost got it. Okay, I think I got it. Okay. I got it. I've changed up the angle here a little bit. I've got the camera at the front of the chassis pointing towards the rear. You can see the tool, the plastic tool. You see the shift rod hanger. This metal part coming down from the top of the tunnel. And you see the new bushing coming through the other side. And right here, I'm pushing clip and the spreader. The way I kind of got it on there, I can feel it. That's visible on camera, but the clip is now going around the lip inside of the bushing. So again, I'm using the screwdriver to hold the installation tool in place so that the bushing is tight against the hanger. Okay, it's on again. Oh, just fell off. Just working it in, working it in. That's what they said in the video, you just gotta work it in. I think what's supposed to happen is eventually one of the pins on the spreader tool will just pop off. It's just gonna eventually snap into place. Oh, I heard something. Ooh, I think that was it. Oh. Pull my screwdriver out. Look at this spreader tool. I feel like I've just gone fishing in reverse. Take the installation tool out. All right, let's shine a light inside the tunnel and see what's doing. Okay, there it is. There's the clip, the C-clip. There's the shift rod hanger. And right in the middle of that opening, that's the new bushing. That's awesome. Very happy. Okay, so I'm at the front of the chassis right now. I'm looking into the tunnel, and far off in the distance, you can see the shift rod hanger and the new bushing that's in there. So right now, all that's left to do is to take this shift rod and slide it into the tunnel and through the new bushing. But before I do that, I have some long life grease. You can grease this up any way you like. It should be bare metal, not painted when it goes into your tunnel. I know that sounds a little weird because it's like, yeah, this thing's gonna definitely rust. And when they come out from an old car, they're usually kind of rusted. Slather that on there real good. Put this through the tunnel. Try to avoid hitting anything important. Oops. That was bad. It got it in my hair. Need a haircut, obviously. Okay, just gotta slide this down. It's pretty slippery. Okay, so I've got my handy dandy broomstick. Just gonna push this all the way through. And there it is. There is the end of the shift rod, looking out right where it's supposed to be. The end of the shift rod is right there in the tunnel next to the transaxle. Okay, so moving on. Obviously, I have to install my shifter, and I've got the lockout plate and the hardware that I need to install that up in the middle of the tunnel. And at the back of the tunnel, I have my choice of shift couplers to use. This one is an aftermarket part that I think I got from CIP1 or J-Bugs or something. I can't remember exactly where I bought it. And it's pretty nice. This would definitely work on any car. It's got a nylock nut here and this cap washer. And then it has this long bolt. And in the middle, there's this tube that fits through here. And then the two rubber bushings on the side. So I wouldn't hesitate to use this on a car or another project. But what I have here is pretty special. This came off a 64 Ghia, and I had it zinc plated. And this is an original German part, and that's what I'm going to go with because I want to keep my car as original as possible. And what's cool about this is that instead of the nylock nut on the end, it has this clip. So I'll pop that off, and there's a washer here. And then instead of it being in two pieces, it's one continuous piece with like a groove in it to fit this clip. Grab the end of the shift rod, slide it in here, slide the pin through the opening in the shift rod, put the bushing on the opposite side, got my washer, got my clip. Okay, now this slides right on there, right onto the tip of the transaxle. And here's my grub screw. Thread that in, tighten that grub screw down. Now I should put a wire through there and wire that on. I don't have a wire right now, but just so you know, there's a hole at the end of the top of this grub screw. You put a wire through, wrap it around, tighten it up so that this can't fall off. Okay, last step in this process is to install the shifter. I'm gonna put a little grease inside the cupped opening, and I'll put a little grease here as well, end of the shifter. So the lockout plate goes here, and then there's a little nub sticking out of there that faces forward. Spring goes on top of the lockout plate, fits inside the shift rod. So there's some fine adjustments that need to be made to the lockout plate that I'll do later. And that helps you to get the car in gear smoothly. You might have to shift it forward or back or left or right. So I've got my 13mm socket. Tighten this down. Some of the grease off the tunnel. All right, let's take a look at the final product.
Big jump forward in time here. Yes, the body's back on the frame. And no, the car is not running and driving yet. I don't even have a door here. But let's focus for a second on the shift rod bushing. This is probably the smoothest shifting Volkswagen I've ever owned. I'm very happy with the shift rod bushing. There was a bit of a learning curve to installing it, but I think the next one will be much easier for my next project. I would definitely recommend it, and the added benefit is that it's guaranteed for as long as you own the car. And no, I'm not being compensated by EV4U in any way, shape, or form. I just like it. That's why I made this video.